Hi, welcome to MRCS. In this video, we will discuss about how to handle low wicks and high wicks. What are the strategies which are to be deployed in low wicks and what are the strategies which are to be deployed in high wicks along with the adjustments. Wicks. It decides the option premiums. Whenever the wicks is high, that means there is some uncertainty in market. So whenever there is uncertainty, market panics and it does not know where to move. So the VIX rises up. So the other scenario is the low VIX. Whenever there is no uncertainty, then the VIX will be low and market behaves normally. When VIX is high, there will be violet moves and hence the premiums will be very much higher. And here the premiums will be very much lower as there is no uncertainty. Here there is an advantage for short sellers because the premiums will be very high and hence the short sellers get more break even. When here the short sellers, there is a biggest disadvantage because when VIX is lower it can go high, and here due to there is an advantage, there is this. So why it is a disadvantage for short sellers? Because when why it is advantage for short sellers? Because when premiums are higher, option sellers get favor of theta decay and hence and also the break even will be more as the premiums will be higher. But here in low peak scenario, whenever as the premiums are very low, when one shorts the market, though he might get the theta decay, but the break even will be smaller. So when here in this particular scenario, after entering the short position, when VIX goes higher, when VIX rises up, the premiums which are shorted goes higher and hence the short sellers who have done in low VIX might get huge losses because the premium rises up and addition to that, when there are violent moves against us, there will be a big damage to our portfolio. So hence there is an advantage, there are some advantages for high wicks and low wicks. We will discuss one by one and what and the strategies what have to deploy in high wicks, what have to deploy in low wicks. We'll discuss in very clearly one by one. Now coming to high wicks. Now whenever the wicks is high, option sellers will be benefited because the break even will be more. Because of break even. Break even favors the option sellers in high wicks. For example, 18,000, when Nifty is at 18,000, at the money will be around 18,000. At the money, prices will be 300 rupees around. So the break even is 300 points up and down. So when Nifty is around 18,000, at the money straddle At the money, option prices will be around 300 for CE and 300 for PE. The both combined, there will be a 600 points. 600 points. So Nifty has, the one who does the short straddle has 600 points up and down combined. So the break even will be higher, and probability of Nifty moving 600 points in a particular week is very much lower. Hence, one can get benefited with the high wicks with the break even. So this is not the exact thing, but one of the advantage for high wicks while selling option. The second one is wicks might come down because it might, if it, once the wicks has reached the high level, it should, once the wicks has reached the high level, it should come down. Okay, it can't simply go from 80, 100, 200 like that. So at particular time it might stabilize, it might stabilize or come down, or might even go higher. That is the probability of very low. So even though it goes up, nothing happens. The theta decay here benefits the high week, benefits the option sellers. So these are the sum of advantages and disadvantages of high wicks while selling of options. And the disadvantage of high wicks for option buyer is the same scenario. This is for short, this is for buying of option. Assuming 18,000 at Nifty and one buys C around 300 rupees, Nifty has to cross 18,300 for option buyer to get benefited from this trade. So the probability of moving 300 points in a week in a for Nifty for single expiry is very very low. So this is not, high weeks is not for option buyers. Okay. So what, though it is, there are advantages and disadvantages, we have many strategies. All the strategies might not suit, all the strategies might not suit the high weeks. The sum of the strategies which suit high wicks along with adjustments we will discuss in later. Now, low wicks. Now, low wicks. In low wicks, it is mostly for benefit for option buyers because the premiums will be lower, and hence break even will be lower. So, assuming Nifty at 18,000, when one buys CE, it would be around 150 to 180 rupees. So one can, the break even will be reducing from 18,000 to 18,150. So Nifty moving 100 points is, the probability of Nifty moving 100 points is not 100%, but the probability will be very much more than in high weeks in an expiry. So here also the same. The main disadvantage is for short sellers because when premiums are low, when one, suppose assuming 18,000 CE, when one has shorted around 150 rupees, okay, 150 rupees, when VIX rises here, in this particular scenario, if VIX goes up due to any uncertainty, though, then as VIX rises, this 150 will rise to 250 or even 300 depending upon the VIX how much it goes up. So we should be careful while the VIX is low. High VIX is always favorable for option sellers, but low VIX is too dangerous for option sellers. Okay, one has to be very, very much careful while selling options. The VIX should be mainly considered. So, because when high VIX can go to low VIX, so it is an advantage. When low VIX goes to high VIX, then this is disadvantage. So one has to deploy a good strategy for this both high VIX and low VIX. So we will discuss them one by one. What are the strategies which are good for high VIX, like suggested for high VIX, and what are the strategies which are benefited for low VIX. Now, coming to high VIX. As premiums are high, break even is high, one can consider selling straddle depending upon the view. Suppose we have three waves of assuming the market. One is side waves, long and short. Okay. Market can move in three ways: side waves, bullish, or bearish. Okay. When VIX is high, the premiums are high and the break even is also high. One can sell. One can deploy the strategy of straddle if is too confident of sideways or strangle. So this both suits very well in high VIX because VIX can go down and the range will be also bigger. Range will be also bigger and one can consider selling short straddle or strangle. What is short straddle or strangle? I will explain here. Suppose assuming Nifty at around 18,100, one can sell. Assuming Nifty at 18,100, one can sell the options of monthly or weekly depending upon your view. So see, we one can deploy the straddle when VIX is higher. The break even will be also higher. See, because it's 700 combined both at the money straddle. When it is around lower break even is 17,400 and 18,800 in upper break even. So one might consider selling this if one feels perfect in having the same range for the particular expiry. The other one is selling of strangle. Depending upon the highest open interest for the particular expiry, one can select the strikes and sell the strangle. Okay. So here also the break even will be even more because the we are selling far out of the money. P and C, the break even is 17,500 and approximately 19,000 in upper side for the particular expiry. So that is for the sine waves. So what about bullish or bearish? One can consider selling. I will show you in sensible only. See, when Nifty is around 18,100, one can, what are the possibilities when we are taking long position? So the possibility when taking any trending move, it might be bullish or bearish. The what are the things we have to assume? What are the things what can happen in a bullish or bearish view? It can go on our view. First thing, suppose say if it is bullish, the same applies to bearish as well. So we'll discuss only bullish here. It can, market Nifty can go up. This is the first case. The second one is Nifty might be in range, the sideways. Case number two, Nifty can go against us, which is go down and hit our stop loss. This is the third case. We have to be very careful while having any view about bullish or bearish, because we have to cover these three scenarios while taking our trade. So what suits all this strategy is, let us see the sensible. So Nifty is around 18,100. We are having a long view. So what is the strategy which suits well? So we'll take 18,100 at the money CE, which is giving us 20,000 loss and 18,500 as our break even. That means Nifty has to move 400 points away from here to get profit for us. So what we do is sell the highest open interest. What we do is check the at the money price, like 400 plus 300, it's around 700. So if that is the one standard deviation at the money, when we add call and put, we get the one standard deviation. See here we can see 1 SD and 2 SD. That means one standard deviation and two standard deviation. One standard deviation suits very well. So combining both, we are getting around 700. So one might consider selling two lots of 700, 18,700. So this is one of the strategy, one particular strategy which suits very well. But here it is even giving us loss. So the break even has increased very much from 18,100 to 19,200. The probability of going that much higher is very much less. So we can cut down two strikes, like we can select the 18,500. We can 18,500, so that depending upon our view, this strategy suits very well. Because if the market comes down, see, if the market comes down from 18,100, which is the point which I've taken, when markets come down, we are in profit. Because see here, when markets come down, we are making around 1,500 rupees on the expiry. Okay, when markets are in sideways, we are still making money until 18,900. Okay, when market goes up, assuming the market has risen up, as this is the as there are some x number of days for expiry, the curve shows like this, the blue line shows like this. Whenever the days come down, the theta decay plays a major role in achieving it. The from 18,100, from 18,100, it can't, from 18,100 it can't go straight to 18,400. There will be major corrections of 18,000 like this. It can't go straight up like this. It comes, goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. It can stabilize here. It can go up and again stabilize and go up. So it might take some particular x number of days to reach the 18,500. So 18,500, it doesn't go in one straight go. It takes some x number of days. In that in that X number of days, the one who deploys this strategy gets theta decay, and that helps in achieving the profit of 20,000 approximately at 18,500. Okay. Now, one might say one might say 18,000, if 18,500 is also breached. So we are having a break even around 18,900, which is 1,000 points away from 18,100. Okay. So the probability, how much is the probability from Nifty moving 1,000 points in a week? Unless and until it is coronavirus or any in recession or anything major thing, does that happen? No, it doesn't happen frequently, like every week or every month. Huh? Every month Nifty, if every month Nifty moves 1,000 points here and there, where should be the Nifty now? So that doesn't happen. Nifty moves unless and until it is when there is an uncertainty, then only the violent moves comes. So even though there are violent moves, the theta decay helps us in achieving our profits. See the probability of profits for the particular. Now one might ask, what if Nifty crosses is 18,500? Okay, though it crosses 18,500, we are still having 400 points buffer for 18,900, because our break even here is 18,930 rupees. So there is no problem even if it crosses 18,500. Now, for our safety purpose, what one can do is select one highest PE strike whenever the Nifty touches 18,500. Select the highest open interest. See this green color here shows the highest open interest in this particular sensible. You can check in Nifty option chain. You can check in option chain and select the highest strike what is having, and simply sell that one strike lower than that. Suppose say Nifty is Nifty is touching 18,500 and 18,000 has around 250 rupees. One have to sell 17,900. In that case, the break even here increases even more from 18,000 18,900 to 19,000. So assuming this would be not same, so we'll reduce this to some 100 rupees. Okay, so it has given us 100 points buffer. So even after moving 1,000 points from the actual rate, even if you feel it's more moving up, then simply what you can do is select this 18,500 to, if after taking this particular PE trade, if market comes down, this particular PE might be in losing. So you will be getting some theta benefit. Okay, whenever you have taken this around 100 rupees and it has moved to 90 rupees or 85 rupees, keep the stop loss at 95 rupees or 97 rupees. Okay, so in this way, if market comes down, you will keep the stop loss around 95 to 97, which is 3 rupees from which you have sold. And but this actual trade 18,100 and 18,500 gives you the actual profit. Though this might give you loss, this might not give you loss because you are keeping the stop loss of 97 rupees when actually you sold at 100 rupees. So if the market comes down, this actual 18,100 and 18,500 will give you the profit. If market goes up, this gives the profit. If market comes down, we will book up this around 3 rupees profit, and this gives the actual profit. Okay, and if market goes above this, then what you can do is sell additional put options. Otherwise, you can simply roll over this 18,500 to book this 18,500 and move shift to the 18,700 or 600, whatever might be the premium. Adjust the premium to that, and you can simply roll up the strike prices. So, this is about the high wick strategy for bullish view. So, in this high wicks for bullish view, we have covered all the cases. When Nifty goes up, Nifty is in sideways, Nifty goes down. So, for all these, call ratio strategy helps us very well. And another strategy is the bullish straddle. What you can do is clear these trades when Nifty is around 18,100. You can simply create, depending upon your target, you can simply create, suppose 18,500 is your target, you can simply create 18,500 straddle, which is the bullish view. If market is in sideways, it gives profit. When market comes down, it gives buffer up to 17,800, sorry, and upper break even will be 19,200. So this is the another strategy which is not recommended, but I'm discussing all the strategies. If you know the adjustments, this strategy also suits very much. The adjustments will be the same as the previous strategy what we discussed. So you can tune the strategy to yourself according how it works to yourself.